Hello guys, Kryzzp here, welcome back to another video. In this one, my friends, I'm gonna be testing the Intel ARC A770 16GB GPU in GTA 5, which is a DirectX 11 title, where usually the Intel ARC GPUs struggle a little bit. You can see all of the GPU specs right here in Tech Power-Up's GPU Z. We also have the latest drivers installed. Resizable bar is enabled, that's super important for ARC GPUs, by the way. And over on the left, I'm pairing it with a Ryzen 9 7950X3D with half of its cores disabled, so it's basically the same as a Ryzen 7 7800X3D. And over on the memory tab, we're using 32GB of 6000 MHz DDR5. Let's get into it, shall we? And here we have it, my friends. Let's go over the settings first. I am starting at the 1080p resolution using no MSAA and the very high or ultra settings, aside from post effects, which is set to normal. This introduces motion blur and bloom, and I think it's ugly. And on the advanced graphics, everything is turned off because they are very, very intensive. Now, you can see that it is actually reaching the engine limits of 188 frames per second in this game. And that means that in just a little bit, it should start stuttering like crazy, because that's usually what happens when you reach those very high FPS in GTA 5. I guess they made the game with quad-core CPUs, older quad-core CPUs in mind, you know, and those couldn't really reach more than like 150 frames per second, so no worries, right? They're never gonna reach the engine limit, so they're never gonna break the game. Right now, it's actually a little bit below that, interestingly, guys, because there we go. Finally it happened, so I can showcase what I was talking about. But yeah, the FPS sometimes are a little bit lower than 188, as you can see, into the 150s, sometimes into the 140s as well. And I wasn't expecting that because, well, we're not CPU bound here, guys. Like, this CPU can handle this at 188 FPS all of the time. The GPU was also not maxed out when the FPS were under the limit, so it's probably some driver-related issues. Anyway, let's enable some 2x MSAA right here, which will prevent us from being at the cap of the engine limit. And let's start counting our FPS right now. The MSAA with this GPU just kills the performance completely. It's absolutely insane, right? For example, with an NVIDIA GPU like the 4060, you would get like 100 FPS with 4x MSAA, 130 FPS with 2x MSAA, and 160 plus FPS without any MSAA. So it's like a 30 FPS difference. And maybe those aren't really the actual values, you know, I'm just giving an example here. I saw that happening at least recently with one of the GPUs that I tested, maybe the 3060 mobile. Anyway, it doesn't matter. As usual, I always crash here. Let's go to Jack's Hill, and over here in Jack's Hill, it drops into the 60s and into the 50s as well. Hello, Jacqueline. I was wanting to see Jack, but okay, Jacqueline is also fine, you know? We like Jacqueline now. Look at that, guys. 50 FPS. This is still at 1080p. Like, how crazy is that? This is so much worse than the competition at this price point, actually. Like, an RX 6600 could make a way better job here. And I forgot to kill Bob. What the hell happened to me there? And also, I have tested this GPU in the full Sunday review video, testing like 15 games or more. And I tested GTA 5 with these exact same settings that we're using now. And it got exactly the same FPS, guys. I mean, we can't really count. Oh, Rex got an upgrade. He's a human now. Which one is Bob? Probably this one. Goodbye, Bob! Will he run away? Yes. Typical Rex behavior there. But yeah, maybe the highest FPS or the average FPS are a little bit improved right now, but we also didn't start counting the FPS in the exact same place as we did in that Sunday video. But I'm seeing it here. We got 76 FPS average and 52 1% lows previously a year ago, and now we're getting 89 FPS average with 51 1% low. So it drops to around the same values, definitely. But yeah, guys, it is a bit of a shame, right? We need to decrease the settings already to achieve 60 plus all of the time with this 16GB GPU. So what I'm going to do is set the grass quality to high, and I think I'll leave everything else as is. That setting in particular is super intensive, and it's what drops our FPS the most in those grassy areas like Jack's Hill, and let's see if that improves our A770's performance. Over in this area, it's getting very similar FPS to what I saw a year ago, even with ultra quality grass, but I mean, there's no grass over there, so that's normal. But in Jack's Hill, I doubt it will drop from 60 FPS. We need a blue car, though. Like, I only see red cars and black cars and white cars. Where are the blue cars at? We need to get out. Oh, wait, that's kind of blue, right? And this is how I discover I'm colorblind. But at least this one is kind of blue, okay? It has that blue glossy look to it, I guess. Let's go. We're getting 100 plus FPS here, which is not bad. It's not stuttering at all. Why did you do that? And I mean, I guess the performance that we're getting is somewhat close to maybe like a GTX 1650 Super, maybe a 1660, you know, which is way below the capabilities of the A770. Newer titles, especially DirectX 12 titles that are decently optimized, the ARC A770 gets very, very similar performance to like the RTX 3060, for example. Okay, we're approaching Jack's Hill. Let's go. You know what? Maybe we're getting low FPS just because I can't really find a blue car. I don't know. Here we go, getting down into the 70s, so we're getting around like 10 more FPS than previously. Yep, it dropped into like the high 50s previously, and now it's high 60s. Hello, Jack, how you going? All good. How did I wreck my car over there on top? Interesting, I don't remember that. Okay, maybe it was the previous owner. And apparently we found the perfect settings for the ARC A770 here in GTA 5. Just lower down that grass quality setting and it shouldn't really drop from 60 anymore. But all of this is at 1080p resolution, right? Like, this isn't really that impressive. Although, if you disable MSAA, you can get like double the FPS, if that would be possible without the engine lock, of course. But you would get closer to 188 frames per second and averages of around like 150. So keep that in mind. The MSAA is definitely still killing our FPS like crazy here, even though it doesn't drop from 60 FPS anymore near grass. So yeah, I would play like this myself, guys, at 1080p 2x MSAA, because it makes the image look a little bit sharper. Like, it's night and day difference, actually. I'm sure you know it already, but GTA 5 has a ton of aliasing when playing at native 1080p without any MSAA, so there's that. I'm gonna stop it there. 103 FPS average is very meh, but it is what it is. Maybe we can get higher FPS at 1440p, because at this resolution, I won't be utilizing MSAA. Hopefully, it won't reach the engine limits like this. The rest of the settings are still the same. Oh boy. Yeah, well, you know what? At 1440p, I won't mind playing without MSAA. The image looks a bit aliased still, but it's not as bad as at 1080p, obviously. So it's not mandatory to use that here, and as you can see, as long as you don't have that MSAA enabled, it actually does perform kind of like an RTX 3060, you know, or maybe even better. Apparently, the problem isn't DX11 in itself, because it is performing absolutely fine. As you can see, this native 1440p after all. The main issue is some of the settings in DirectX 11 that will kill the performance in this GPU, and I'm not sure if in DX12, if you set it to 2x MSAA, it will also kill the performance on the A770. That's something that I'll need to check out in another game. But yeah, as you can see, if you want to play at 1440p, thankfully, you don't even need to lock your FPS to like 120 or so to avoid stuttering issues, because it's always going to be below that 188 FPS threshold of or cap of the engine. Oh my gosh, okay. Now dropping down into the 120s at top, a little bit of a stutter there. Oh my, whoa. So you might want to lock the FPS still to something like 120, I guess. That was really weird, because it's nowhere near the engine limit once again. I will take your car, and I will take your spouse, and I will get out of here, okay? Thank you. I got a friend now in the car with us, my friend. No, do not get up. That's what you get if you get out. See? Should stay in the car with Michael. Michael is probably not that smelly. Come on. Also, I bet some people in the comments will say that this car is green. I myself don't know at this point if this car is green or blue. Okay, anyway, we're here. We're getting pretty smooth experience still. It's high refresh rate in the 120s. Bob is right there. Wait a second. Let me see it here. Yeah, there we go. Inside of the bushes. It drops into the lower 100s, but it's not a problem, guys. Where are they going? Huh. They saw me, and they're moving away from us, guys. Goodbye, Bob, and friend of Bob. Okay, you're not gonna stay alive now to get him to the hospital and get him back here into the trails. Hi, Jacqueline. How's it going? Seems like Jacqueline likes the ARC A770 a little bit better than Jack in this one. It is overall a smooth experience, aside from those stuttering issues, but hey, it is what it is. Let's go up to 4K resolution, though. Here we go, 3840 by 2160, same very high settings with high grass quality, and okay, it is still a decent experience with around 60 FPS, but it will inevitably drop into the 50s in that grassy area. This car sucks a little bit, not gonna lie. Maybe because we completely wrecked it already, but yeah. So far it hasn't dropped from 60 FPS, I think, but now it finally will. 58, 59. So the 4K resolution experience won't be as good as the other ones. It's a little bit underwhelming once again because this has quite a high buzz width, you know, compared to like current NVIDIA GPUs at least. Goodbye, Bob, by the way. Another thing about 4K with this GPU is, well, it has 16 gigabytes, so a lot of people will think, yeah, it's a great card for 4K gaming, but, well, in these older titles, and in most games, honestly, it won't really do that great of a job, unfortunately. We'll need to drop things down further to achieve 60 plus. So I'm just gonna set everything down one notch, okay? On every single setting, aside from the grass quality, which I will keep on high, otherwise on normal it would just disable most of the grass, so it starts looking a bit crappy. And this is it right here. These are the settings. And it seems like we're back to a high refresh rate experience, even though I am playing this at 60 Hz because the game decided to set itself to 60 Hz previously, and I'm not gonna bother changing it back. But hey, it is a somewhat high refresh rate experience. Once again, this is quite good. Seems like just a little bit of lower visual fidelity will make our FPS jump up like crazy. Instead of getting like around 60 around this area, you know, the city area driving around, it will get 100 plus. My God, I can't drive though. Jesus Christ. Also, when RGB cars in GTA, maybe in GTA 6? I would like to see like RGB cars with a lot of lights and so on. That would be great for FPS increases and so on. But that would give people a very big advantage in GTA Online. Speaking of, I'm not testing GTA Online because, as I usually say, it is CPU bound. It's so much faster because the car is blue. It's all because the car is blue. We need to keep things authentic, you know? Oh boy. Keeping them authentic doesn't mean not broken, okay? Oh my God, speaking of broken, what the heck, Intel? Come on. Can't I say broken? Seriously, I say broken and you stutter. Okay, alright, noted. Do not say broken while you're testing or playing GTA 5 with Intel ARC, okay? Anyway, I restarted counting the FPS because of those stutters. Again, I think they're just driver related, unfortunately. Hello, Jacqueline. And it's getting 90 FPS now this time around in this area, which is much, much smoother, of course. So quite a decent experience now. And over here, yeah, it doesn't really seem to be dropping from like 70 frames per second or mid-70s probably, so it is a good experience, and it's enough to kill Bob, of course, so definitely playable. And I mean, I came into this thinking that it would definitely be a playable experience, but I just expected to see a big improvement coming from a year ago. Since, you know, Intel has been delivering driver updates after driver updates and so on, fixing the performance in older titles on ARC. And, well, GTA 5 apparently wasn't really fixed. The car does not turn at all now. Oh my God, look at this. What the hell? Oh my God. So with that all said and done, I think the next thing to try is 8K resolution. I'm going to set frame scaling to 2 times, and that makes it 8K in terms of pixel count. Seems like at 8K res, it is actually pretty decent. I wonder if native 8K gets higher FPS than 4K with MSAA, since MSAA kills performance so much with this particular GPU. Oh boy! Oh my God. Okay. For that, I will probably need to lose the cops first, so let's try to do that. But honestly, guys, after seeing it losing so much performance from 1440p to 4K, I thought at 8K it would be way worse than it actually is. This is still 30 plus FPS all of the time. That's not great, obviously, but it's playable at the very least, so there's that. Alright, I'm gonna go straight to Jack's Hill, my friends, while flying, because that's how we do it here sometimes. Oh, look at that shadow, by the way. Still looks pretty good. Oh, come on, it's here, there we go.
Oh, shit.
Look at that. Oh, no, yeah, it's dropping. It's dropping by quite a lot in this area, guys. And I think we will need to kill Jack. There he is. Yep, I think he's gonna hug us this time around, so... No, he's still running away from us. Okay, he knows what the gun is, I guess. I'm gonna stay here. 33 FPS is what we're getting, or 32 FPS at 8K resolution. So it is playable, but it's not amazing. It could go higher, of course, by lowering some settings, by the way. So you could definitely do 30 plus FPS all of the time at this resolution. But now, let's apply that. We're back to 4K resolution using... Let's do 4 times, which supposedly... This is super sampling, so... It is kind of 8K, and as you can see, it is way more intensive than just increasing resolution. Yep, especially here in these grassy areas. I came here just because of that, of course. MSAA tends to lower things down even further when grass is on screen in this game. And yeah, it is completely unplayable with 4 times MSAA. Let's see 2 times though, which is usually less intensive than just native 8K resolution on other GPUs, and okay. That's exactly the case here, or maybe it's basically the same. I moved a little bit around there, so it's not the exact same frame that we're seeing, but yeah, FPS seem to be very similar with 4K 2 times MSAA and 8K resolution with the ARC A770. Honestly, I was expecting worse performance coming from 2 times MSAA, but again, 8K is 4 times the resolution, and 2 times MSAA shouldn't be as intensive as that. So yeah, that's been it, guys. Thanks very much for watching this video. Hope you guys enjoyed it. I'm sorry that this video is coming out super late today, for my standards at least. But I had a few problems with some computers here. I was supposedly going to make another video, but I ended up having tons of problems. So yeah, there we go. GTA 5 never misses to actually work properly, although that ARC GPU sometimes does. Thanks for watching. Catch you in the next one. Love you all. Bye-bye.